You are listening to Come As You Are, the podcast. My name is Tyler, and I am joined by my two friends, Amanda and Stephanie. We are a trio of coaches on a mission to ignite a collective movement where authenticity, self-discovery, and purposeful living take center stage. Each episode, we go live in the Kaya way. Kaya is an open invitation to show up authentically and vulnerably. It's a safe space to allow ourselves to be worthy and enough right now. And it's a celebration of our individuality and diversity. So welcome to the show. We're happy that you're here, and we invite you to join us in today's conversation.
Good morning.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending where you are in the world.
Good evening. It doesn't really matter.
Good night.
How's
How are you today?
I'm good. I feel like I always check in here recently with just like, I'm good. I'm good.
And I think it's actually a really big thing. Because often the good, I don't know, I don't usually accept good as an answer. Normally, like, someone says they're good, and I'm like, no, really? Like, how are you really? Because it's so generic to say, oh, yeah, I'm good, you know?
Yeah.
But sometimes it just is. Like, sometimes you are just good, and it's okay to just be good, you know? Because often when, like, I feel most people, or this is maybe like through all my like coach training, it's like as soon as something's good, we're often looking for like, you know, the ball to drop, or like what's going to be the next like worst thing that's going to happen. We're always looking to like worst case scenarios. And so when we say we're good, I'm like, okay, what's really going on for you? But I think we've created such a safe space here that like good is actually like an okay answer, because if it wasn't good then we'd say so too, you know.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm really glad that I can use the space today to take a break from my day. I've been really scattered today. There's so much to do at work, and so I'm just glad to be here and take a nice long deep breath and arrive here now and just enjoy the time we have here. How are you, Amanda?
Hot. We're like going through this like crazy heat wave here. Like it is so, and it's not even just like the heat, it's like humid and sticky and just so just feeling the heat and trying to stay cool. It's like, you know, that heat when you walk out from like the AC and it just like whacks you in the face and you're like, whoa, like, and you can barely breathe. It's like that hot, and it's gonna be that hot all week. So bracing myself, because it went from like 0 to 100. Like last week, I swear I was wearing like a parka to my son's baseball game. Like, but this week it's like, oh my gosh, just put me at the beach. I just need the water. So I can like sizzle, like, you know, that like when water hits, like it's really hot and it's like that's the feeling. I feel like you could probably, cook an egg on a car.
Oh yeah, I know that feeling. So what are the temperatures?
So 45 Celsius.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what we have here. Good God.
I'm curious now. So 113 Fahrenheit.
Wait, it's hotter there than it is in Texas right now.
It's very unusual. Like we don't usually, it gets hot here, but like not this hot. Like
our maximum is like 35, I think, not 45.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So trying not to melt, you know.
I bet, yeah. Just eat one popsicle after another and just wait for it to be over.
I'm not gonna comment on our weather because it's not too bad in Texas. Like, we're just, in our normal sunshine and summer. Stephanie, did you survive your heat wave from like last week or whenever it was?
Yeah, so yesterday was pretty bad too, but today is like 26 degrees, so it's okay-ish, and it's windy and cloudy. So for me, it's like it can be like it's whatever temperature it wants to be, but if it's cloudy, I feel like it's really not as bad. So I'm grateful. But yeah, last week was really intense, and actually, I can now we're going to talk about it. So a friend of mine, she wanted to go to the Beyonce concert in Paris, and all throughout the fandom, there has been these like warnings for people who traveling there to be cautious because of the heat wave. Like it's really really bad, or it is really really bad in Paris right now, and especially for those who really want to stand like at the like in the front row and who are there in the morning and waiting all day. I mean, this can be so dangerous, right? So yeah, they've all just really tried to warn everyone not to go crazy. And yeah, so probably a lot of people who are a little bit dehydrated when they go to the concert. Yeah, but thankfully when I went in London, it wasn't so bad. It was a perfect weather. It was like 21 degrees, also windy, sunny, cloudy. It was a perfect concert weather, actually. Yeah, it was really nice.
Okay, well, don't stop there. Like,
yeah, I was going to
teased us last week. Like, tell us more.
Yeah, I was so tired last week from like the trip. I couldn't even talk about it. But now I've filled up my energy reserves.
Did you?
No, it was as always. Huh?
Did you get home like Sunday? Or did you get home on Monday?
I came home on Sunday. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say because I mean we recorded on Monday and I was like that would have been crazy if you like had a morning flight and then got on.
No, I didn't do that. I wasn't that crazy.
Okay.
And then I could have like rested in London, right? But we came home right after like the next morning, and there was just not a lot of sleep for me that weekend. Let's put it this way. Yeah, but it was, as always, it was phenomenal. It was such an amazing show. We ended up actually being in the second row, right on one of the catwalks. But unfortunately, we were on the wrong side. So we were on the left side, and she used the catwalk on the other side a lot more. That was a bit unfortunate, but it was so good. There was so much energy, and the dancers, they were phenomenal. I feel like they always get better and better with every tour, and just the overall show, like how everything is put together. That just shows how much love and dedication is in all of this. What was really cute about this one is that she had her daughters with her on stage, and her older daughter, she even is performing, like she's a fixed part of the show as kind of like, as a background dancer, which is really cool to see. So all in all, I'm so happy. And this was probably the first time, not the first time, but one of the rare times where we were standing, like everyone around us was in such a cool, good mood. And I actually had someone in front of me. It was her first live Beyonce experience, and she just like cried half the time. Like she was so adorable. So that was really special too, just have like everyone around from like Spain and Scotland and I don't know, some other places in Europe, and just really being like together as the fandom. It was really nice, to have that connection also.
It's always very exciting when the people around you are just as into the concert as you are.
Yeah.
Nothing is more of a killer than going to a concert and you're the only one in your section like really getting into it, and then people around you are getting mad because you're like singing and dancing along, and I'm like, bro, I paid to be here and I'm gonna have a good time, and if you're unhappy about that, like please go to the exit. It's that way. Like get out.
Sounds like you're speaking from experience.
Oh my God, yes. I mean, tons of experience, because Stephanie and I share that we love concerts and we love going to concerts and live music and things like that. But there have been so many times where I show up at a concert and like people are mad because I'm standing up dancing and they're like sitting. Who sits at a concert? I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. I feel ya. I so feel ya on that one. This is why I always want to be on the floor and like at the stage, because so at the last tour, we actually said we're gonna stand yes in the pit at the back, like have these standard tickets, but just like don't care about being at the front, just being at the back. And we ended up with all these people who like snuck in weed and were just like smoking and drinking, and like they didn't even really, it seemed like they didn't even care about the show. And I had trouble like even looking at the screen, let alone seeing Beyonce. It's Beyonce herself, but like I couldn't really see anything. I was like, this sucks. And no one here goes like super crazy. So this is why I always want to be at the front. And I've also had this experience before where I was having a seat ticket, and then everyone around me was just like, well, yeah, okay, we're here and life's okay, and and I'm like, this is not how you do a concert. This is not how I do a concert. So that's why. But I must say, for this tour, I really wanted to say that it would have been so much better to have the view from the front, not from the sides, or actually sit. I know this sounds a bit crazy, but the reason I'm saying this is that because the show is so elaborate and so grand and so like spectacular, that it has the greatest effect when you see it from the front, like all the formations and how the dancers are positioned and what they do and all of the prompts that they use. It just looks so cool from the front, and I just didn't have that experience this time, sadly. So I would have, like, I really, now if I could go back, actually I would either get a seating ticket like in the lower ranks, or actually a standing ticket that is like facing front, even if it's more in the back, because all the times when she also went to the front stage that's like kind of in the middle of the arena, we would see her from behind basically. And so you would end up looking at the screen because you want to see what's happening, right? And that happened a lot. So yeah, for anyone who still goes, just make sure you have a front seat or a front view. It's just so much better. Yeah.
Hot Beyonce insider tip here, breaking news, grab a ticket in the front of the stage. Yes.
Yeah. And what I really like, so Beyonce said this before, that concerts are unique experiences. That's why she never releases her concerts on DVD anymore. The fandom is really unhappy about that, but what can you do? That was her argumentation, because we asked about it repeatedly, and she once said like, no, it's a once in a lifetime life experience, and that's why I'm not putting it on DVD, even though each of her concerts is being filmed from like 2,400 different angles. she just doesn't put it on film for us. And I do get that. And what I really like about her shows also is that her fashion is epic. She really comes and delivers, especially the topic. Now it's Cowboy Carter, so everything is just like long pants and denim and leather and I don't know, whatever you can put in the way of the American flag and everything. So it's really a sight to behold, just to see the costumes and also how everything is just matched together with the layout of the stage, the colors, how they match, and how much meaning is also behind the setup of the stage and of the scenes. For example, the stage this time was a star. Like, she actually made the stage a star. Somehow it was like really cool. Yeah.
It was attention to detail, right? Like that creative, like I love that kind of stuff. like just seeing and appreciating like all the little things, right? That not everyone notices, but when you really start like really paying attention to those things, it's I don't know, I think it's really, really cool.
You're making me miss the Eras tour, like Taylor Swift tour, because I went to that tour, and also like I had seats like in the stands, but I was facing the stage. So when you said like it's great to see it from that vantage point, I can attest to that, and I can say yes, absolutely, because it's just so immersive. Like it's just to see the whole stage and the lighting and the sets and everything like that. Like it's unbelievable the amount of detail that goes into all of these concerts and all of these tours, like, you know, and it's no longer like, and I've talked to this about like my parents, because my parents grew up in the 80s going to like rock shows, and like rock shows, you just used to show up and like rock out. Like there was no costumes, there was no elaborate light changes, there was no, you know, set changes. Like there wasn't anything. You just went and you rocked out. And it's amazing to see the evolution of concerts, to go from just going from this place of like listening to live music to now having an immersive experience full of like, so like it's actually so overstimulating, you know? And I remember leaving the Eras tour, and then like for 2 days I was like hungover. Like, and I think that's what you were experiencing last week, Stephanie, of like just like the post-concert hangover, where you're just like coming off of this like such like highly stimulated experience, and then being like, what just happened? Like you don't like, you can't even process all of it sometimes. And I had the like, I had the experience of kind of like blacking out, and then being like, I don't remember half of the set. Like it was like I can recall, you know, the experiences and the energy, but I couldn't tell you in what order she played songs and anything like that, because I was just like so enthralled. And I love that feeling, and I miss that feeling.
Yeah, that I can attest to that. Like having a concert hangover is hard. Like you just like, how are you gonna go back to normal life after this? That's the question I always ask myself. You are changed, and then it's really hard to face the reality of just your ordinary life again.
And there's almost like there's almost like a moment of mourning too, you know, because you count down the days, you plan your tour outfit. Like, ooh, speaking of, what did you wear?
Ooh, yeah. So this was the first time actually. I haven't done this really before, but this was the first time that I actually wore like an actual Beyonce outfit, or I like copied one of her outfits from. I must say, this is like 11. Can you imagine, like 11 years ago that she wore this on stage? Wait, I'm gonna show you a picture. So I was doing her Flawless outfit from the Mrs. Carter tour, and she wears. I'm just gonna show you. Wait, I need to find the picture. And I will like, I'm gonna share a really weird experience with, you know, this, you're gonna laugh so hard. But I finally cracked the secret of why Beyonce is so confident on stage. You're gonna laugh about this. Like it's just so ridiculously tiny detail, but I think I cracked the code. I really did. Wait, let me find the picture. So this is what so again, one of the moments where I share my phone on the thingy. So this is like this. So you can't see this there, but there's like a lot of rhinestones on the shirt. If you look up the original one, you will you will see the details. Yeah, you can't really see it here. But and maybe I can show you another picture where you see the detail, the secret that I'm about
But
to show.
you added the detail, or you
Yeah,
purchased?
I did this myself. Yes,
You did it yourself. Okay.
Mhm.
I think
Yeah,
that's
so you can't really buy the whole outfit. You
yeah,
have to make
no,
it,
I
which
figured,
was
but
really fun. It was so fun to do.
yeah.
So I'm going to show you. So I don't know if you can see this on this picture, but so I'm wearing tights. You can't
Mhm.
see this, right? So you know
No.
Beyonce always wears two tights, right? She wears the regular ones, and then there's like, what is it called in English? Like
The fishnets.
fishnets. Yes. So this is the secret, because I wore them for the first time. So I wore the normal ones and then the fishnets over it. That's how what she does. And I don't know, I just looked at myself and the whole outfit and I was like, wow, where's this confidence boost coming from? And then I did also get a lot of compliments from like other people because they recognized the outfit. And so I was like, oh, that's how she does it. She just feels so confident in those tights. So if you ever need a boost, that's what you do.
You've cracked the confidence code, Stephanie.
It did. No, it really made it. I think also the whole outfit just made a difference, right? Like going to the concert, like there's always this like pre-hype that you have, like the excitement of meeting the other fans and just being there together and, you know, about to see your favorite artist. And then also the outfit just simulating like this experience from like so many years ago when she was wearing this and what it stands for. I think that also played a lot into it. And also because Flawless is such a wonderful, empowering song too. So I think that just kind of also copied onto me. Yeah, so that was just, I don't know. I felt like I could rule the world when I was walking down the street in that outfit.
But there is something different about that energy, right? Like it's like when you, and not that it's about how you look, but how you feel in what you're wearing, or even just like as you're describing this energy of like, because I've been to my fair share of concerts and like also even just live sporting events, right? So it's like that energy of being there live is not the same as like listening on the radio or watching something on TV. Like it's completely different. And I think that's so fascinating how that live energy just, it makes such a difference. And I don't know what that is exactly. It's the human connection. I don't know how to like summarize that, but there's something different.
It's gotta be the collective energy, right? Because if you think about it, you're bringing thousands and thousands of people together who are incredibly passionate about the performance, whether it's the concert or the sporting event. Like you just get the avid fans and their collective energy when it comes into a room like that. It's so explosive. It's like it's very overwhelming at times, but also like super exciting, you know? And Stephanie, I have to come back to the outfit thing because when you put on a tour outfit or you get your concert fit, there's nothing more empowering than like strutting. You know what I mean? Like doing the concert strut where you're just like, yeah, I'm feeling myself. I am really feeling myself. And it is like, and I'm very curious because Stephanie, you cracked the code with like fishnet tights kind of thing. But outside of the concert venue, what's an article of clothing that makes you feel very confident?
Oh, good question. Oh, let me think about this for a second. Did you have something in mind for yourself already? Or
I
were you
did.
just
Yeah.
okay? Do you want to
sure.
share first?
Because it immediately, as soon as you said like putting on the fishnets and like feeling that confidence, I was like, oh yeah, I have a few outfits like that. I have a few things that I wear. For me, one of my favorite things to wear is flared jeans. like the flared pants, like to me there's nothing more, I don't know. I just love putting them on and like having that moment. Like, and I just bought a pair at the store the other day, and I like put them on and it was like a perfect fit. Like it hugged my thighs, and then I just would like, and I like walked out of the fitting room and I was like, yep, these are coming home with me. Cause like to me, flared jeans are, I don't know. To me, it's like it's a fashion statement. Like it definitely makes a statement when people wear flared jeans. You notice them, and I'm just like, I just feel very confident in flared jeans. That's my thing.
Interesting. You know, I mean, yes, outfit wise, of course, we all have, I guess, like a few in the closet that make us feel more empowered than others. I don't have a particular item that I would say makes me feel like, oh yeah, except for now the Beyonce outfit. But I gotta say, I'm not gonna wear this like on like normal occasions, because the pants, when you wear them when it's hot, like they get very hot. At some point I was like, are they gonna melt? It was this kind of material that would like get really, really warm, and I never had something with that kind of material, so I was like, okay, is that normal? Yeah, so that's why. But I would say overall, what always makes me feel very empowered is when I wear sport clothes, because they just give me this like, oh yeah, I'm about to move my body, I'm about to have some energy in myself and do my thing and connect with my body. So yeah, when I wear just my sporting clothes, then I always have a confidence boost. Amanda, what is it for you?
I've never thought about this before, and as you're both like sharing, I'm like trying to think. I'm like, what is it? Like, I don't know. Similarly, like you were sharing, Stephanie, I don't know if there's like one particular piece of clothing necessarily. Just like overall a well like put together outfit that I just like it. Um, yeah, but I like to play with hats. Hats are fun. Like I feel like hats could be fun, you know. Um, Especially like not just like a ball cap, you know, like that's like, but like a fun hat because it's different. Um, but I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it takes a certain level of confidence, I think, to wear a fun hat.
I think what also does the trick for me is like accessorizing.
Yeah.
When I put like extra stuff on, like rings or necklaces or
Yes.
I don't know, whatever, bracelets.
My
like
glasses. My glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amanda, that's good. Your glasses are a very big statement for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't notice it. Like for me, I'm like, it's just me. But a lot of people recognize that about me.
Well, and I think that's the power of accessorizing and finding the clothes that feel really good to you is like they just feel like you know?
Yes.
Again, when I put on my
I think that's what it is. It's not necessarily like a very specific like article of clothing. It's the feeling when you put it on and you're just like, oh yeah, like you were saying, even with the jeans, like even though it's a very particular item, but it's you put them on and you're like, yeah, like I feel like myself. I feel fully expressed from the inside out, and that's not always I think, I don't know actually if that, because I'm thinking of myself, and then in the past I look at like my wardrobe, and also I think too because when I was younger, like I was very much a tomboy, and so like I shopped in the boy section, and I just loved those clothes. My sister, like after me, hated it because she got my hand-me-downs, and she was like the girliest of girls. So she would like the pink and the frilly and the, the most girly stuff, and she did not like my style. And then I got teased because my name is Amanda and now I look like a man. So kids would call me a man. And so I feel like, I don't even know if this was like fully conscious, but like there was a point in time where like I really felt like, I think my whole wardrobe was literally just like black and black and like it was very plain, very boring. And when I think about that time in my life, I really feel like I was unexpressed. And even like throughout high school, like we had to wear uniform. And that is like one of the biggest ways I think that we're like, oh, we all look the same. Not that we do, but you know what I'm saying? Like, because clothing is such an expression of who we are. And when you're told like, no, everyone wears the same gray pants, everyone wears the same hideous green. Our colors were green, white, and gray. It was so just ugly, like ugly. And there's no self-expression in that, right? Like you tried to express yourself and it was, no, that's not uniform approved or whatever, And so I just think through that, really feeling like I wasn't able to fully express myself. And now I'm like the boldest, loudest colors, like, if I see like a funky pair of pants or tie-dye or something with like a smiley face on it or a rainbow, I cannot help myself. And I feel so much of that being an expression of who I am from the inside out. And that's really what I think brings that confidence, is that feeling of expressing yourself through whether it's the accessory or the clothing or whatever that is. But to me anyways, that's what it is. What about you guys? Would you agree?
Wow. What? Yeah. I mean, I think it's very interesting because when you said like when you were younger, there wasn't a lot of like self-expression. And I remember I felt oppressed, in high school because I was still very much like in the closet, and there was always a part of me that always wanted. And it's interesting, you used to like to wear boys' clothes, and I was always more of like I liked more of the feminine clothes, But give me a nice blouse, and I'm like, yep, I like that. So Harry Styles is 100% like my style icon. The way he dresses and the way he blends masculine and feminine kind of styles together to kind of create his own very like fluid look, like love it. And that is exactly like who I want to embody. And it's interesting because as I've evolved and as I've grown and gotten more comfortable with myself, that has definitely come along. Like my pearls, I mean, I'm wearing my pearl earrings right now. I'm always wearing my pearl earrings. I'm usually wearing a pearl necklace to match it. Well, I don't wear that to the gym. But I'm always in pearls. The flared pants, like this has been an evolution of me getting comfortable expressing myself. And I think that's the real power of fashion. Mm-hmm. And, I think when you do wear something like the fishnet stockings, because I understand, I've been in fishnets one time and I did not feel that empowered. And that's how I knew like they weren't my thing. But for many people, like, yes, that's a very empowering piece of article to put on your body. And it was not for me. But you have to be willing to like try all of these things out too. That's a really big part of finding what feels good to you, and I felt like when I was in high school, I was very afraid to express myself. And so I just wore very basic things. Like t-shirts and shorts and t-shirts and shorts, and and nothing was ever colorful, nothing was ever, there was no loud prints or patterns. And that's another one of my things now, is like I will find the loud prints and patterns.
Yes.
Zebra shorts, like I have a pair of zebra shorts that I just absolutely love to wear now, and the more pattern, the more color, the more expressive, like I'm like, yeah, that's me. And again, Amanda, I loved how you said it's like a reflection of the inside coming out, because that's how I do feel on the inside. I feel bright and colorful and happy, and I want to express that externally, and I do that through my accessories, through my flared pants, and everything like that. And it feels really good now to be like in my 30s and finally at that space to where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna wear what I want to wear, and I don't care what anybody thinks or what anybody says, and I'm just gonna be happy expressing myself. And Amanda, I have to throw this into the conversation mix because I have a part-time job working at Michael Kors, and right now we have rainbow bags because it's Pride Month here, and so that's always the thing. Like June comes around and you can find rainbows everywhere, and it's been so sad this year to see people come in and love the bag, love the rainbow, love the color, and then say, well, no, I can't get that. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I don't want to be like mistaken, or like, I don't want to be, because right now the way things are going here in the States is they are trying to repress every single rainbow, every color, every, like whatever. There's a lot of repression happening right now in the States. And it's so sad to see all of these people come in and be like, I really want the rainbow bag, but I don't want to give off the wrong vibe.
Can I just quickly ask?
Yeah.
Does wrong vibe mean I don't want to be mistaken for someone that's not heterosexual? Or are they afraid that people will make political comments?
I don't even know. Like, it's so terrible that we can't just enjoy color, It's gotten to this point to where you can't. And I told a lady, I said, look, you can look at this rainbow bag and see one of two things. You can see rainbow pride, LGBTQ plus, or you can see rainbow color and fun and whatever. And you can rock this without you having to be like pride, all of these kind of things. Like it's ridiculous that we are right now in a society where we are villainizing rainbows.
And they're rainbows, like,
and it's color.
I totally feel you on that, because I have the same, like, not me, I don't care. Like, I love a good rainbow color. Like, now I'm like, once we're done, I'm like, gonna look up Michael Kors. What rainbow bag can I get? Because I love the colors. But I've had, I wouldn't necessarily say these people are friends, but acquaintances, people in my world that will question, like, well, don't you worry, like, that like you wear all these rainbows and people are gonna think. And I'm like, let them. Let them.
As Mel Robbins says, let them.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, it's not my problem. That's their problem. Like, if they're going to judge, then let them. Like, I'm not going to let that stop me from. I love the colors. I love colorful things. So why would I let that stop me from expressing myself? But I can see, like, I got that comment a lot. And like, because I have this, like, it's literally a bag that's it's literally a rainbow. Like, it's the bag is like a half crescent shape. I'm pretty sure I probably showed it to you guys.
I think you were carrying it the night we went to dinner. maybe,
Yeah.
or the night we met up for drinks, like I'm pretty sure I've seen it in person.
I'm sure
I,
like it's
I
one of
think
my
I commented
staples.
on
I
it.
love it.
Yeah. Yes.
But I had people like, or even like as I was buying it, they're like, oh, like, you know, making comments. And I'm like, it's cute. Like, it's so cute. And it's so me. I don't care what other people think or say, or because there's always going to be someone, right? And that's why there's so many different styles and so many different things. Like, you like that, I like this, great. Like, that's fine. Like, we don't all have to like the same stuff, or like this association with like rainbows and pride. And yes, there's definitely been a strong connection made, but it doesn't mean at the end of the day, it's just a rainbow. Like, it's just a rainbow, and it has so many beautiful colors. Why wouldn't we? I don't know, but that's just me. I don't see anything wrong with it. And like, if you looked at my wardrobe, like, there's so many rainbows. So many rainbows. The more rainbows, the better. And it's not a necessarily like, I buy this as like, oh, this is my, you know, pride statement. Like, it's not even about that for me. It's just, I like them.
It comes back to self-expression.
Yeah.
It is how I choose to show up in the world as myself, you know? And you can like it or you don't have to like it. And either way, I don't care, you know? And I think that has been a big part of my evolution over the last several years, is getting to that space of like, I'm going to wear what I'm going to wear. I'm going to show up how I'm going to show up. And you can either like it or don't like it. And either way, I don't care. Like,
because no matter what, there's going to be people who are going to judge, right? Like,
yeah.
It's in our nature. Like, people are going to judge. And I would at least rather like be myself and express myself how I want to express myself, versus, oh, well, maybe I can't wear that because what other people are going to think. Who cares? They're going to think something regardless. Like, it doesn't matter.
And I'm going to just throw this in because we started the conversation off with Beyonce. This is what makes Beyonce Beyonce, you know, and all of the celebrities who show up with that kind of energy, they show up with, the critics are going to hate, you know, but the lovers are going to love, the fans are going to adore, you know, and they know that and they're aware of that. And that's how they stand in their confidence, you know. Yes, the clothes add like a layer and a boost, but it's that inner knowing of like, I am just showing up as me. This is why Beyonce is as popular as she is because she is just Beyonce, you know?
I want to add in another layer here, because like for someone who may not be a Beyonce fan, is gonna like appreciate this, I hope. So every tour since her Formation tour, so this is like 4 tours ago, what she did for the way this tour starts, it with some clip of the news or haters saying shady things about her.
Oh, I love that.
Always how it starts. And then she comes out and everyone goes nuts.
You know, that is like so powerful, because I think about this, right?
And like, this time, like, I don't remember what she did for Renaissance, but it was also some shady stuff. And this time she actually took news people and obviously blurred their faces so that you really don't know who it is. But she actually took like on the news, because her album Cowboy Carter obviously got a lot of negative critics, especially from the, let's call them, more traditional country music lovers. And they were like tearing this apart on the news and like, what has this industry come to, basically, you know, in the most horrific way. And she just like put that there and blurred the face and change the voice something, and then that's how the tour always starts, and we're just like all snapping and being like, yep, that's her, and then she comes out and everyone just goes bananas. That's always so phenomenal. Yeah,
I love that. I did not know that about Beyonce. I've never been to a Beyonce concert. I did not know that.
well, I forgive you.
Love
But
that.
you gotta go at some point.
That is like such a power move.
Yeah.
Ugh. You know how good it feels to stand in your own power like that? Like that's a big fuck you energy, and I love it. And excuse my language there, but like that is exactly what it is, and I love that.
And I think something even through the entrepreneur journey, especially as coaches, because I think we have to, we do put ourselves out there so much more on a personal level, because that's how we're connecting with our clients and really sharing our stories. And I think, for so many of the programs that I've been in, there's so many coaches who are like in hiding, right? And are afraid to show up online because it's like, well, what are people going to think about me? And to me, like, where I got to the point where it's like, having haters, having people who are like, oh, well, that's stupid. Like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't make sense, like, or what you're saying is wrong or whatever. To me, that means you're doing something right. And I mean, there's an extreme of like being disrespectful, and like that's not what I'm talking about. I mean, like, when you're sharing your own experiences, when you're sharing from your own belief systems, and those type of things aren't going to resonate with everyone, and not everyone is going to agree with you. And so having the quote unquote haters is a good thing, because it means that you're actually sharing a true part of who you are. Because not if everyone's agreeing with you, then you're just in that like people pleaser, like trying to get, and don't get me wrong, like you still want to have people who like agree with what you're saying, because then he's like, it's just so extreme that they're like, it doesn't even land for anyone. But having those people who don't agree, I think, is seen as such a bad thing, but it's really actually not. Because if you're really expressing yourself, not everyone is going to agree with you. Not everyone is going to agree with your choices in clothing. Not everyone is going to agree with your opinions on things. And that's okay. It's not an attack on even you personally. People speak from their experience, from their belief systems. It actually has nothing to do with you, but we make it about ourselves. This is our like human default, right? Like someone says something negative about you, and suddenly we start taking it personally. But it actually has nothing to do with you. Literally nothing. Like, it's an expression of that other person's experience and their viewpoint. It has nothing to do with you.
Absolutely.
And I think clothing is the same, right? Like, expressing ourselves in any way, really.
And oh, go ahead.
No, go.
I think this is why, especially in the music industry, so much of the music that is being released from an artist eventually deals with that kind of topic of talking to haters, putting them in their place. And because at some point I was just noticing that on my journey of exploring artists or musicians, and like, why are they all bitching about people who hate them? Like, who cares, right? But I've understood at some point, that's just their way of also processing this. And especially musicians, especially people like in the pop industry and so on, they are exposed to so much, pardon the language, shit. Like there's so many people coming at them, actively hating people, and really wanting to do harm, even like physical harm, destroying reputations and so on. I mean, the internet can be a dark place, right? And so I've understood, okay, they just I mean, we have no idea what kind of messages and stuff the artists themselves receive. And so I think for me, at some point, I realized, oh, they have to deal with that. They have to somehow process this. And obviously music is their way to processing with this. So obviously it shows up in lyrics, it shows up in songs, it shows up in performance. Yeah, and I think that's beautiful. And if for us coaches, and for me, this is still also a journey to let go of like the people pleasing and embrace all of who I am and show up, even though there might be people who critique me. Definitely still still on that journey. And yeah, this is, I guess, maybe a question I have for you guys now. Like, how do you process that as a coach? What do you think has helped you in the past to reach a new milestone of letting that go and dealing with maybe active critic?
Ooh. It's a big question.
For me, I think it's really what I was just saying, reminding myself that what other people say about me says more about them than it does about me. And that's my reminder anytime where someone says something, and these are the things in life that are easier said than done, right? Like it sounds,
Yeah,
it makes total sense. And then someone says something and you're like, ooh, that stings,
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's bringing back that reminder of, what other people say says more about them than it does about me, is the repetition of that for me has been really, really helpful in letting go of the judgments of others and knowing that they're always going to be there. There's always going to be people who don't agree with me, and seeing that in a positive way, that I don't have to get them to agree with me. And I can also use that as getting curious, right? Staying curious about, that's interesting that they would think that way. I wonder what I can learn from that. I wonder, like, what new perspective I can gain from that. So being really open and curious, and again, just repeating what other people say about me says more about them than it does about me.
I think for me, my journey has been, a lot of having to come into myself and get really clear on who is Tyler. I am constantly asking myself that question and constantly getting clearer in that answer. And I think the clearer I become in being able to answer the question, the more I'm able to silence the haters.
That's a good one.
And, and so I would say, I think my answer to that question is, for me, it's been learning to love myself and knowing that, okay, if I'm operating from a place of love and alignment with who I am as an individual, the hate has no power, but it's taken me many, many years to get here. Like, that simplified answer took me about 30 years of struggling.
Yeah, make it sound so easy.
To easily articulate that in the way that I just did. That did not happen overnight. That has been 30 years of coming into myself and really getting crystal clear in who I am and what makes me me, and then honoring and loving that part of me. Yeah.
I was also thinking, like, how powerful is it that when we do work as coaches and then someone comes to us and says, wow, you've really changed my life, and you've really impacted the way I see XYZ. I was gonna say that as like the answer to my question, but then as you were sharing, Tyler, I realized this probably all doesn't matter if you don't believe really in what you do. If you still struggle, if you still doubt yourself. So I think the praise, the positive feedback from clients, from people you've touched, can help, but it doesn't until we actually, feel good and confident and just content with who we are. And when I say just, I don't mean, like Tyler said, it's not an overnight thing. It's not a weekend workshop. It's years and decades of ugly.
It's the inner confidence. It's that inner spark that's like glowing so brightly that it outshines those like negative, like if we were to see the negative comments as like dark, right? Like shadows. So it like our light is so bright. I don't know, this is the visual I'm getting, right? Like our own light is so bright that even in those dark shadows that people try and cast on us, that we illuminate the shadows and they kind of disappear.
That's a nice metaphor. I like it.
Wow. Well, as always, I'm left with the warm and fuzzies. Gosh. It really every time we wrap up an episode, I just have a deep gratitude for becoming, and for the personal journey and the personal evolution that comes with all of this. And like I think we say it enough, but I'll say it again, like this is a process, and this work does not happen, as Stephanie said, in a weekend workshop, Yeah, you might go to that weekend workshop to, spark some of the transformation, but like that just begins transformation. It doesn't like there. I really don't think we are ever done transforming, and that's something that I just recently I've been feeling a lot of gratitude towards that realization that we are never finished. We have never fully transcended, you know what I mean? We are just constantly in this state of evolving and growing, and it requires active participation and total presence to like make it happen. And I just think it's one of the most beautiful things. So that's how I'm checking out, y'all. How are you checking out?
Yeah, I think it's a great reminder of the journey, of that journey of self-expression, of giving ourselves space, like allowing ourselves to expand and grow in loving ourselves just that much more. That's what's coming up for me. How about you, Stephanie?
What I'm really realizing right now is that what you were describing, or both of you were describing, this getting to know yourself better and then expressing that. When I went to the Beyonce concert and I was, just styling myself in the way I wanted to feel and show up for the concert, I think this was one of those instances where I practiced that, to really act from the inside and express myself fully and have this really confident experience, not just by myself, but also with so many other people. It's kind of like now I'm realizing this is one in the bank, that kind of expanded my confidence bar, if that makes sense. So I can now, show up with more every day. And that's really cool. Like and that comes back to this topic of feeling very good with myself, so that whatever others might say about me doesn't impact me as much, or I can deal with it in a better way. So it's cool that there's this connection there. I like that. Yeah. Alrighty. So we have some very exciting news before we end. And that is that next Monday, we're doing our season 2 finale.
Yay! Well, it's bittersweet, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, yay, us. Season 2. Yay.
Yes, but also like,
But also, yeah.
we always come back better than ever. So I'm super excited for our finale and then to kick off season 3. Like, oh yes, so much fun.
Yeah.
So much to look forward to.
And it is a grand finale. We can say that, right? It's
Yeah.
gonna be a grand
Yes.
finale. You will see.
Grand finale.
We have something planned.
So, okay, friends. Well, until next week, have a wonderful week, and we will see you again very soon.
Yes.
Bye.
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 Thank you for listening to Come As You Are, the podcast. You can follow the show on Instagram at Kaya the Podcast and on YouTube and Facebook by searching Kaya the Podcast. If you haven't already done so, please help us keep the conversations going by subscribing, rating, reviewing, and sharing this podcast. And be sure to join us next time for another deep conversation.